Have you ever said, "I'm an introvert," when explaining why you skip parties, avoid social gatherings, or choose to spend weekends alone? You probably wear that label proudly. It feels comfortable, safe. It feels like it explains who you are perfectly. But what if I told you that calling yourself an introvert might actually be hiding something deeper, something more uncomfortable? You're not an introvert. You're just terrified of rejection. Now, before you dismiss this, hear me out. Being introverted is celebrated these days, right? We share memes about it. We embrace the idea of enjoying our solitude, and that's great. But here's the uncomfortable truth that no one talks about. Sometimes what we call introversion is actually just a shield against the pain of rejection. Here's how this works. Think back to when you were younger. Maybe you reached out to someone, tried to join a group or express yourself openly, and maybe just once, or many times, you got hurt. You felt misunderstood, embarrassed, left out, or outright rejected. That pain stays with you. It sticks. It teaches you something powerful and damaging. Connecting with people means risking rejection, and rejection hurts. So you start avoiding it. And soon, instead of risking vulnerability again, you convince yourself that you'd rather be alone anyway. You begin to label this self-isolation as introversion. And at first, it feels empowering. You're different. You don't need validation. You're deep. You're independent. But here's the problem. It's not independence if it's driven by fear. When you avoid social interactions, you're not just recharging your battery. Often, you're protecting yourself from the chance of rejection. You stop raising your hand. You stop introducing yourself. You stop putting yourself out there. Why? Because as long as you're alone, you're safe. No one can reject you when there's no one around. But here's the trap. The less you expose yourself, the more terrifying exposure becomes. You become rusty at human connection. You feel awkward. You start believing you're inherently bad at socializing, deepening your isolation. And the cycle repeats. But what if your identity as an introvert isn't the whole truth? What if you're using it to avoid confronting your fear? See, the reality is human beings are wired to connect. Even the most introverted among us need meaningful relationships. Introversion doesn't mean total solitude. It means you prefer deep connections over superficial ones. But ask yourself honestly, are you actively pursuing deep connections? Or are you using introversion as a convenient excuse to avoid trying altogether? When did you last genuinely risk rejection? If you can't remember, it's probably been too long. Here's another hard truth. Rejecting people before they can reject you feels safer, but it's just another form of pain. Loneliness is painful. Isolation hurts, and no amount of solitude can fully replace meaningful relationships. You know this. That's why sometimes you feel empty even after hours alone. So, how do you fix this? The first step is admitting it. Admit that maybe you're not as introverted as you thought, you're just afraid. Next, recognize that rejection is inevitable, but guess what? It's survivable. Rejection hurts, but it won't kill you. What actually destroys us isn't rejection. It's our avoidance of it. Then start small. Reach out, share something personal, show genuine interest in someone else. Risk a little rejection. You might feel awkward or uncomfortable, but discomfort is growth. Stop judging yourself so harshly. You're not weird or incapable. You're just out of practice. Most importantly, realize your worth isn't tied to how others respond to you. Someone's rejection isn't a measure of your value, it's merely their choice. And you're still valuable, still worthy, still human. And finally, let go of the introvert label. Not entirely, but enough that it no longer becomes your hiding place. Keep enjoying your solitude when you genuinely need it, but stop using it as an excuse to stay isolated. Because real connection requires courage, vulnerability, and yes, risking rejection. Remember, you don't have to become a social butterfly. You just need to acknowledge that hiding isn't living. The world needs you exactly as you are, and the only way to truly be seen is to risk showing up. Because here's the truth, you're not just an introvert. You're someone who got hurt and withdrew, and that's okay. But now it's time to heal. It's time to step forward. It's time to connect again. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comments below. You're not alone, and realizing that might just be your first step toward feeling genuinely connected. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.